Hey guys, this is Andrew with mywatchaddiction.com, coming back to take a look at my second Wachgang Platinum subscription for January 2018. Today we're going to take a closer look at that TUW Ruhla International Collection automatic watch that I received. So before I get started though guys, as always, can you do me a favor? If you have not already, if you're not currently a subscriber, can you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down in the right hand corner of your screen there so that you can be alerted when we post new videos and you can follow us on into the future. So let's take a look and find out what this watch is all about. So taking a closer look at this TUW Ruhla International that I received for my second Wachgang Platinum subscription, we're going to take a walk around this watch a little bit. You know, right out of the gate, you can see it's got a really interesting case design and style with that square case design. Now this is 316L stainless steel. This watch, obviously with the rectangular shape, it's going to sit differently and wear differently than a typical round watch or a long watch. And I haven't had a square watch in quite some time, so it's going to be interesting to see what I think about the feel of this when I'm wearing it on a daily basis. Now, the first thing you'll notice as you're taking a closer look is that design on that dial of this watch. You see the second hand there. I've seen a lot of people saying that the second hand is a little bit too much and it's obscuring the hour and minute hand, or it causes it to be complicated to view. Personally, I think it's a really neat design aspect of it. I think it adds more dimension to the watch. I would agree in the fact that at face value, when you first look at it, it is a little bit challenging to get your eyes acclimated to it and be able to pick up on the exact time real quick, just because of those center spokes, those three spokes of that second hand. However, you know, once you're looking at it for a few seconds, you can quickly pick it up. The other thing you'll notice that I kind of like is that open date display at the basically 2:30 to 3:30 position on this watch. If we take a look around this watch, the case sizing on this guy is between the lugs, lug to lug, we are looking at 42 millimeters. The diameter without the crown of this watch, basically the width of this watch, we're looking at 43 millimeters, and then the width of the watch strap on here is 24 millimeters. The height of this watch is nice. It's very thin at 11 millimeters thick. Taking a look around it real quick, you know, it is a nice padded leather band. It doesn't feel cheap or waxy. It's a little bit stiff, but that's because it's brand new. Once the watch band gets broken in, I think it's going to be pretty comfortable with that padded, padded leather band. There is TUW Ruhla stamped on the band itself, so they aren't using generic. It doesn't look like they're using generic bands. If you look at the back here, this is a good shot of that Swiss ETA 2824-2 automatic self-winding movement with 25 jewels. We talked a little bit about that in the last video of my Wachgang Platinum subscription. The clasp on this is just a very typical buckle clasp for this watch. I think an interesting thing is and I might do it just to see what it would look like, is to throw a quick release clasp on this band. I think that would be pretty interesting to do a brushed or matte stainless steel similar to the case material itself. That might look pretty good. Again, this watch is out of TUW Ruhla's International Collection. The specific reference number for this watch is 11443-C, and that'll give you this specific black and red color combination, which as you guys may have picked up on, I'm a huge fan of black and red. The one thing I will point out though, and I don't know if they ran out of bands or what the deal is, but on their website they advertise this watch with red stitching on the black leather band, whereas this watch that I received from Wachgang comes with white stitching. I think this watch definitely looks a little bit better with the red stitching, the red accent stitching to tie in the coloring on the dial. Similar to the other watch that I received previously, this guy does have sapphire crystal both on the front as well as the display back. So in taking a look at how much this TUW Ruhla International reference number 11443-C watch is going for, that I received as part of my Watchgang Platinum subscription for January 2018, directly from TUW Ruhla, they are going for 899 euros, which if you saw my previous video, that roughly equates to $1,098. If we jump over to Amazon, there's a seller selling this watch on Amazon right now for $1,100 roughly. And finally over to eBay, where, as I mentioned, I like to get closer to in pricing. Surprisingly enough, this watch is actually, people are posting this watch in the $600 price range. So what that tells me, just based on this watch compared to the previous TUW Ruhla International watch that I reviewed, this tells me that people perceive a better value in this watch, or they think this watch is, based on its design characteristics or whatever reason, this watch is worth more than to everyone else than the diver that I received previously. They both have the exact same movement, built in the exact same factories. It's just a different design to the watch, different design to the case, dial, the whole 9 yards. So that's kind of interesting for me to see from a watch collecting standpoint, is seeing the great jump between the watch I previously reviewed and this one, that are pretty much essentially the same watch in terms of the movement and the guts inside, but just a different design and different case styling. So as I mentioned, anywhere from $399 all the way up to this guy's got a buy and now price of $900. For me personally, again, that $1,000 price point on this watch is a little bit of a stretch for me, because I'm not a huge fan personally of square cased watches. I think that $600 for me personally would even be a little bit of a stretch. I would probably go up to the $400 price point, give or take, for me personally, on this TUW Ruhla International 11443-C. So that was what I was able to find out about this TUW Ruhla International Collection square automatic watch with the Swiss ETA movement inside. Really neat design. Overall, I think it reminds me kind of that 7-day watches collection. Has that general aesthetic. The one thing I just realizing I forgot to point out when I took a closer look at it, but you'll definitely be able to see in the pictures here shortly in a second, is the case styling on this, the multiple layer dial and the texture to that adds a whole lot of dimension to this watch. I think it's a really neat looking watch. It's a watch that I'm going to appreciate having in my collection, and I definitely think this guy is going to make the rotation. This guy most likely won't be traded anytime in the short future or in the near future, simply because I want to get this watch on my wrist and I want to be able to enjoy it a little bit before this guy goes anywhere. Guys, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them up in the comments below. As always, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at mywatchaddiction.com. And if you want to see what I'm wearing every day, definitely follow us on Instagram at Instagram/watchaddition.us. Thank you guys and have a great week.